Hi everyone, and welcome back to The Spiritual Outcast. I'm your host, Sky Kristen, and we are back with another episode. This episode feels very guided. It feels very channeled. For example, I have a list of ideas, any type of realizations I have. I write it down on this list for, podcast ideas, things I want to talk about. It's a long list. There's a lot for me to talk about, and it just keeps getting longer. But when I was planning this episode, I opened up the list, read a couple of my ideas, and this episode kind of just came in the moment. I didn't even have time to add it to the list and, consider it. I just flipped a page and went right into writing today's episode. So, it wasn't my original plan, but I'm kind of taking this as an opportunity to trust myself, trust my intuition for whatever reason this episode needs to exist right now. I don't know if it needs to exist for someone listening or if this is just the direction that my channel or my podcast needs to take, which is, I fear ever just being a podcast where I come and share some advice and it's very just a fun little self-help. Obviously it's gonna be like that sometimes, but I really want to make sure I'm diving deep into the reprogramming that I have done on myself and the techniques that have worked for me, because clearly that's part of my gift, that's part of my message, and my way of learning is maybe a little different, maybe a little harsh and triggering, but it's what has helped me shed so much trauma and really blossom into who I am. So, I want to make sure I'm sharing that, even if it maybe feels a little aggressive. And then when it comes to sitting down and writing a podcast, I find myself trying to be gentle with you guys. I want to be very gentle with who's listening, but sometimes people need a little, tough love. So today's episode is a little controversial, just in the sense that it's a little triggering. I want to trigger new thought patterns, new ways of thinking, and new beliefs. That's one of the biggest reasons for my growth personally has been allowing myself to reprogram just such deep-rooted beliefs that have held me back and whatnot. So with that being said, today I really want to challenge the ideas of being selfish and irresponsible, and really how I think being selfish and irresponsible truly makes you a better human being in society, for yourself and for others, for the planet, for the collective. These two words, for me personally, I feel like have been used against me by people in my life, and I really had to take it into my own hands. And, of course I had my healers, my mentors that I look up to helping me in this process, but when you're going through your reprogramming, when you're aware of certain ways of thinking that don't align, you just think that way because you were told that, and you go into this stage, this phase of reprogramming, it is such an area of unknown, and it feels like such an attack when someone, believes that belief that you're trying to let go. When someone else believes it also and pushes it onto you, it's it feels like such an attack, and it feels so easy to go back to it. So with time and practice, I've been able to completely reprogram the meaning of being selfish and irresponsible in my life. I've seen it transform who I am as a human being and those around me so much. And those, that, again, healers, mentors, people that I look up to online, these two negative words are actually some of the most positive actions you can take in your life, again, for yourself and for society. So again, little backstory of how this all started happening for me. When I really started to get serious about my goals, getting very clear on my goals, manifesting what I want to have in this life, what I want to experience, what I want to feel in this life. When I got really clear on that, I was able to realize that for all of that to happen, for all of that to start taking place, I really needed to change a lot of my beliefs, a lot of my internal world. So much of my old beliefs were holding me back. There was so many blocks between, where I was and where I wanted to be. And, there was a lot of letting go that took place. I could, make 3, probably 4 or 5 more episodes just on 2 topics each of things that I had to go through and let go of to really change and start to reap the benefits of my healing. But for today, I really want to focus on these 2. I feel like they kind of go hand in hand because, again, they're both triggering. They both have such a negative, they're both viewed very negatively in this world, right? Being selfish, being irresponsible. I feel like right off the bat, most people see those things as very negative. Those things make you a bad person. Or at least those were my beliefs for a long time. And so, if you have people-pleasing tendencies, if you tend to put yourself second or last even, this will probably be a very uncomfortable discussion, but also it's what you need to hear. And I think especially to the people-pleasers out there, this is some huge advice. This is some life-changing advice. I would not be who I am today if I didn't take the time to reprogram the meaning of those words in my life. Okay, so let's start off with being selfish. Selfish with your time and your energy. This really started to come up for me when I was 23, 24, more 24. I'm turning 26 in a few weeks. And it came through as FOMO. So going out, having FOMO if I wasn't out, that was a big theme in my life when I was 24. And, though it was becoming so clear to me that I needed to isolate, I needed time alone, I needed to start being selfish with my time and my energy, intense FOMO would take over. I felt like, I'm too young. I'm giving up my partying days, this, that, way too young. Really getting ready with like immense amount of anxiety of not wanting to go meet up with these people or go out, but doing it anyways, completely going against myself and my intuition because of FOMO. And I also want to preface this. I think everyone can benefit from so many experiences, okay? Take what I'm saying if you feel like how I felt when I was 24. If, I don't know, you just moved away, you're, early in your 20s, or you're just around people and it feels good, or you're going out and it feels good, like enjoy that time, enjoy your party years. I'm happy I had mine. Like, this is by no means telling you to not go out, isolate yourself. I'm speaking to those who you know it. Like, in your gut, you feel it, that you are spreading yourself way too thin. You're allowing like FOMO to control your life. You don't actually want to be in these places. You want to work on yourself, whatever the case is. If you resonate with that, this is for you. If you're going out and you're having a blast, continue doing that. Like, everyone, it has their own experiences. Everyone needs that time. Maybe not everyone, but a lot of people. So this is not for those people. Quick jump before, I really dive into all this. More with where I am now. So I'm really, truly someone who gives my all to the people in my life. I have so much value to share with the people that I love, and I get that back fully. It's an equal exchange. I don't feel like I'm depleting myself by giving so much. It is completely an equal exchange. I leave majority of my interactions with the people in my life feeling high, even if it's been, a day or two, like genuinely feeling like it was just such an equal give and take exchange. We both benefited so much from that. And I deeply know the value that I add to people's lives. And I'm in a place now where I don't know how to have it any other way. When I had multiple friendships, was spreading myself, super thin throughout all these people and quote unquote networking and, really trying to please so many people at once, I wasn't adding much value to people's lives. So looking back and thinking like, these people weren't adding much to my life. I'm like wasting my time hanging out with these people. I didn't add much to their lives either. I couldn't. I did not have the capacity to, like it goes both ways. If you want to add richness, like potent value to people's lives, you need to get that from somewhere. You need to have that energy. You need to fill your own cup first. You should get the most time with you, no matter what, When you spread yourself too thin, how I view it and really how I felt back then, and you might relate to this now, or you might, relate to me now, and this was you in the past as well, but it's almost as if your energy like is splattered. It's just splattered everywhere. And in a sense, you're lost. You don't have all the information. You don't really know who you are. You don't really know all that you have to offer. You don't really know what you want to do. You don't have all the information. Your energy is just splattered all around town, all with, different people. And it's really hard to have a clear identity of self. And so being selfish with your time and energy, spending the most of your time with you, allows you to regain this sense of wholeness. And when you now have access to all of this again, it's like all of that splattered energy is now coming back to you. You're just feeling that sense of being whole in yourself and your energy. It then opens up the gates to so much healing. Because before, when you are spreading yourself way too thin, hanging out with people, not able to say no, pleasing everyone around you, it's just your energy is splattered all over the place. And your energy is like your code, like your DNA. Like it tells you everything about you, what you want to do, what you have to offer. It's the most, just potent version of you holding all your energy. When you don't have that, you're kind of just lost. You don't really know, all these things. Again, you don't have all the information. Being selfish, going into isolation, spending time with yourself, learning about yourself, journaling, filling up your own cup, it's like such a life-changing experience because you just finally get to know yourself. You finally come back to yourself. It's like this great remembrance. You've always been that person. Like that energy was always yours. It was always your information, always your DNA to know, but it was lost. It was spread all around. Now you have access to all of it, like at your fingertips. It's all within you. You learn so much about yourself, and you learn so much about the ways that you were acting, the things that you were doing that were maybe coping mechanisms, to deal with this sense of being lost, to deal with this sense of really like not knowing who you are or what you're doing. You really get to learn your self-worth, and you get such a sense of inner fulfillment. And this is huge. This is revolutionary if you are someone who was searching for inner fulfillment externally, whether that be through a relationship or through a career or whatever it is, being selfish with your time, with your energy, really helps remind you in ways that I can't even explain with words. It's really something that you feel. It's really just an inner knowing, but you gain such a deep sense of inner fulfillment fully. And you get to realize that everything else externally in your life is just a plus, like a plus and minus. It doesn't change anything. You have this or you don't have this. It doesn't affect your self-worth. It doesn't affect your feelings of satisfaction of life, fulfillment. You're just so rooted in self-love. I feel like that's the best way to say it. That no one can take that from you. You get to let go of so much fear and anxiety as well. And I feel like that's what comes, with FOMO. It's I need to go out to maybe see this person, to maybe meet this person, to do this, to wear this, and this is going to happen, whatever, all these excuses we make, we're going to miss out on something, deep FOMO. And when you realize there's nothing that's going to add to your levels of self-worth externally, you can fully give that to yourself, then relationships, careers, going out, activities, all these, fun external things are just that. They are fun external things. They don't determine your deep sense and quality of life and how you view yourself and your self-worth. They don't affect those things. They can't. And being selfish with your time and your energy allows your nervous system to finally relax. And when you allow this, your body starts to heal, literally because of the actual chemical changes within the body. Maybe you're having less, cortisol spikes, whatever it is. This truly heals the body on a physical level. So when you look at it that way, someone who is selfish is able to regain a sense of wholeness, dive deeper into their self-worth, self-fulfillment, heal their nervous system, heal their body, heal their mind, heal how they react. It's would you rather be or be friends with somebody with or without those things? And so being selfish allows you to be a better person. You get to experience what it's like to, be that person. But also think of the people in your life that now get to gain from this new version of you that puts yourself first, that is selfish with your time and energy. Again, I know that I add so much value to people's lives because I give it to myself first. Because that's the thing, when you take the time to be selfish, when you go back into the world, what you now have to offer is so much more rich. It's so much more valuable. And because of that, you don't easily just give it away the way you used to. You start to give it to those who know how to receive it, but also know how to reciprocate it. And for those who don't, they just naturally will fade out of your life. And keeping those people in mind, the people that will naturally fade out, or the people that just no longer know how to receive or reciprocate at the same level as you, those are the people that are going to call you selfish. Those are the people that are going to try to convince you that what you're doing, how you're acting is wrong and makes you a bad person. And, I know a lot of people who are doing the work, who, you're getting what I'm saying right now. You're trying, but unfortunately you have a lot of people-pleasing tendencies because of the people in your life, maybe even the family, the people that you live with. But to those people who are going to call you selfish and wrong and bad, the only way someone else's opinion can get to you is if you have the same belief as them. And that in itself is a very hard pill to swallow and takes a pretty deep sense of self-awareness. So that's why it's so important to get grounded in your new belief of selfishness. And here's a good thing, to remember too. You having your new belief of what selfish means to you, or, me, for example, what selfish means to me, and someone else thinking of selfish in their own ways due to their beliefs, neither of us are wrong. We're both right in the beliefs that we have. And that's why, me coming to someone and telling them that being selfish makes you a better person, allows you to offer more value to the world, to yourself, and to society. For someone who doesn't believe that, that's like me telling them that the grass is purple. There's just, we're not gonna agree. And the same way, someone who benefits off people pleasers is gonna maybe come to me and call me selfish and try to explain that to me like it's a bad thing, like it's a wrong thing to do, like I'm a bad person. It doesn't affect me the way it once would, because, them coming at me with that is literally as if they are trying to convince me that the grass is purple. So when I first started setting these boundaries, allowing myself to be selfish and losing people, I still had this old belief that was wrong. I need to put others first. I need to give. I need to say yes. I need to, So when I tried to stay grounded in my new beliefs of what it means to be selfish, it was hard because we shared the same belief. Now that I've put time and practice into this and I've completely reprogrammed my meaning of the word selfish, I no longer share the same belief. And so when people, not that it happens often anymore, but if anyone were to come to me and really try to convince me, again, that what I'm doing is bad, wrong, whatever, it's just not going to affect me the way it once did. So that's a good thing to remember. So let's reframe our belief of selfishness, because you're not a selfish person, in the ways that most people see. You actually care so much about people, about the world. You probably want to help people. Healers are the most selfish of them all because they want to heal, because they want to change the world. They have become so selfish over time that, their cup it's always full. It's always overflowing. And that juice that is overflowing into other people's lives, it's potent, it's valuable, it's magic, versus, people who constantly put themselves last, put everyone above them, thinking that they're helping by offering, their last few drops of their cup, like, to everyone that they can, just trying their best to help. It's like, you're not helping in the ways that you think you are, because, you're so scared to be selfish. You want to always put other people before you because you want to help. It's just not helping as much as it could. If you really care about people, and if you really care about the planet and want to change this world, you need to start being so fucking selfish with your time and energy. Soak that in, let it build its value. Again, that juice that gets to overflow from your cup into the world is so healing. It's so healing, and we need that. You need to let go of the idea that being selfish is a bad thing, makes you a bad person. If you don't learn to start putting yourself first, you will never, ever, ever, ever change the world. Ever. You will never heal or help other people. That is such a myth. And I'm getting passionate on this subject because I really want it to click for, those people pleasers. Because I know that you care about people. And it's going to take a people pleaser so much more time and practice cultivating this new belief than others. So it's like me really trying to ingrain this in your mind right now. When you know your why and you believe in your why, other opinions, other people, it can't get to you. That there's no correlation anymore. You just have to get past that tricky part of the reprogramming. Again, you believe the grass is green, they believe the grass is purple. You just get to a certain point where you gotta agree to disagree. There's no argument to be had here, the way that there once was when you guys shared the same belief. I hope that makes sense. But this leads me into my next point of becoming a better version of yourself, a better human in society, and that is being irresponsible. And this is another tricky one, tricky, that we really need to rebuild our beliefs around. This has fearful people in a chokehold. The idea that there is a responsible way and an irresponsible way to go through life, it's true, but it's completely backwards. I believe one of the most irresponsible things that you can do is live your life unauthentically, completely going against your intuition and making decisions, living your life for other people or for society. Actually, making decisions that go against your intuition should be a crime. Genuinely, there is nothing more disrespectful than that. And again, I'm feeling the passion come up. I'm feeling the passion come through. But again, it's because I really want this to stick for those who think that they're doing the right thing by ignoring what's meant for them. It's just so backwards. Pleasing society should not be rewarded with a gold star. Pleasing society is a form of self-sacrifice. And this is the thing. People who have ignored their inner calling, people who have said no to themselves over and over again, they want to watch you say no to yourself. It makes them feel a little bit better about denying themselves. And how exactly are people going to make sure that you deny yourself, make sure that you deny what you want out of this life? They're going to tell you that doing so, that going for it, is irresponsible. And so I say this with my whole heart. Be so fucking irresponsible with your life. Have every decision that you make, have them trembling in fear. And I know the way that I'm speaking may sound like I hate these people, like I hate society, but it's not true. You listening to your intuition, going for what you want, taking the scary ass steps to get there and achieving it shows others that they can do the same. And so being irresponsible, going for it, is going to help society in ways that you can't even imagine. I love people. I love people so much. And, when I see their fear holding them back, it makes me sad, but it also just fires me up. It reminds me that what I'm doing, that me going for it, that me being irresponsible is going to help them. It's going to help these people who allow fear to run their lives. What I can't stand, what upsets me, are people who want to go for it, but are letting other people's opinions stop them. And I've been there. It takes a while to move past that. I'm actually still moving past it. I still have my moments, okay? But, still, I don't have this mindset of like, fuck everyone, like, fuck what they think, like, do what you want, in a actual sense of like, fuck them and like, let's do this. It's like, let's help everyone. Let's help the collective. Go for it. Show people what's possible. That is more important to me than like, fuck you, haha, I did it. It's like, yeah, you denied me. You told me that I was being irresponsible. You never believed in me, whatever the case may be. But like, I did it. And I really hope you can find it within you to go for what you want to do. It's all to inspire. It's all to raise the collective consciousness, okay? Even though I get passionate and angry, that is where my intentions lie. Those are my values, okay? One thing I also realize is I have been incredibly blessed with supportive parents. I realize the older I get how much of a blessing this is because of the people that I meet, the people that I speak to, whose like number one haters, number one people who hold them back are their parents. And for someone like me who has never experienced that, it is so hard to believe, but I know it's true. I see it all the time. And so that's where I know I'm blessed. Having supportive parents is such a privilege because I've made some quote unquote irresponsible decisions, moving out, dropping out of college, traveling by myself, starting a business, I recognize that this is a privilege. And what I've realized over, the years is my parents trust me, so they definitely have not always understood everything that I do. There's like some resistance sometimes in supporting me, but they trust that I will make the right decision. They trust that I trust myself, and maybe I've proven that to them. But yeah, I think that's also why I want to share this type of mindset, because I know not a lot of environments, support this or even encourage this kind of thinking. And so about shifting into making irresponsible decisions. I know that's the word we're using, but like, you don't go into it thinking that. It's more so like, I'm going to start taking calculated risks towards what I want. But the thing about that is, even with calculated risk, it's still a risk. With every risk that you take, there is an undeniable amount of uncertainty that comes with that. So a big thing that I've done over and over again, and it can start small, but start getting comfortable with stepping into the unknown. And I know that's a big one for the control freaks. This was a big one for me too, because you might know where you want to go. You can see the end result, but if you're really going for like this inner like knowing, inner feeling of what you want to create with your life, more of like a dream, I guess, there's no straight pattern. There's no straight way to get there. The entire middle of where you are now to where you want to go is the unknown. So you have no other choice but to start getting comfortable with making decisions, taking calculated risk towards what you want. Doing so is going to throw you into the unknown. And this really shakes up your world. It's a lot. I'm not going to lie. So one thing that really helped me is grounding myself. Have some grounding practices. Meditation, breath work, journaling. Get really grounded in yourself, in your why. Find ways to come back to yourself, because being in the unknown, it's like falling and never stopping. That's how it feels when you're in it, when you're making these calculated risks, when you're just going for it, you're just falling hoping you land on a nice cushion, that's going to get overwhelming at times. It's going to be like ebbs and flows. Ebbs and flows, is that what it is? Ups and downs. Grounding yourself, having some grounding practices is going to help keep you sane and keep you focused, especially with all of the outside noise that's going to come with it. If you have people in your life who are going to throw words like selfish and irresponsible at you, grounding practices are going to change your life. And next is you need to build a certain level of faith. And you don't need to be religious to do so. You don't even need to consider yourself spiritual. But yeah, what really helped me was having a decent understanding of science, of universe-based science, of quantum physics, and how things come to be. You know, you may have heard this before, but things exist in the mind before they exist in the physical. Where attention goes, energy flows. And so when you start taking risks, you start being a little more irresponsible with your decisions, being in the uncertainty, being in the unknown, this is where faith comes in. Because there is going to be a lot of times where the only proof you have of the life that you want, the life that you're working towards, is in your mind. And depending where you are in your journey, there's a high chance that if you try to look outwards, try to look at your physical reality to try to find some proof, you most likely won't. You will possibly find the opposite even, and this is where people give up. This is where people go back to their miserable job, settle in their relationships, just give up the dream. Faith is a tool that is going to help you get through the unknown. And so going back to how being irresponsible makes you a better human being for yourself, for society, once I let go of the life that was sold to me by society and started to go for the life that I wanted, as fucking scary and irresponsible as that was, I would not be the person that I am today, the partner, the friend that I am today without all of these irresponsible decisions that I made. It has built my confidence so much, my trust. I trust myself so much. I'm now in a place where I'm comfortable in the unknown. The unknown excites me versus stresses me out and keeps me in this anxious mindset. It has opened my mind. It has made me okay with failure. It has made me love failure. I've dropped so many fears. I have learned so much about myself. And all of this, yes, has made me a better person in society completely. I relate to others on such a deeper level. My levels of compassion for people are through the fucking roof. I didn't know I could love in general this much. The quality of people who live for themselves versus people who live responsibly, even though it goes against what they want, those people sometimes are absolute menaces. Terrible people to be around. Seriously think about it. Who here has been personally victimized by someone who hates their job, hates their relationship, or hates their life? People who are responsible but miserable and make you feel like shit are the same people that are going to call you irresponsible for going for what you want. Please don't listen to them. Please start to be an example for them. I want everyone listening to show people what is possible. Do it for you. Do it for society. Some people don't need to see it before they do it, and some do. But if you're like me and you don't necessarily need to see it before you do it, please do it. Feel the fear and do it anyways. Step into the unknown with a smile, be selfish as fuck, and be irresponsible with your life. I love you. Thank you so much for watching. or listening. Let me know your thoughts on this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.